Hi Giles, welcome back to FrightFest. How's your weekend been so far?
Well, we're very early, so luckily not too tiring. I work for another company as well, so I've got films here that are being sold and distributed, and then I'm also with Broadcasting Intrusion as well, which we produce. So yeah, it's busy, it's cool, it's exciting. It's wonderful to be back. To be honest, it's wonderful to be back in a cinema with people, seeing the glow on their little excited faces about what horrors await. It's wonderful.
I mean, you actually got your FrightFest off early by, being part of the New Blood initiative. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Thursday morning before everyone kind of kicks off at the cinema, we are over the road in an undisclosed location, mentoring new writers. I mean, I run this New Blood initiative, which I've run for about 5 years now, and it's actually where Broadcasting was birthed. The first year we ever did the scheme, Tim and Phil sent us this script as a blind submission, and we fell in love with it instantly. And every year since we've been trying to do, the same thing, trying to find those writers. We found a couple already. This is the first one that's actually been birthed from that scheme, and it hopefully gives a good indication of, the kind of thing we're trying to do with finding new writers who are, just telling these stories in new and interesting ways, and really trying to sort of push the genre into kind of an exciting realm. The independent horror genre. It's a small little family of brilliant films and crazy films and weird and strange and different films. But we're also looking, what can we do that's unique? What can we do that's going to make audiences who live and breathe this stuff be surprised or be disturbed or be fixated on what we're doing.
And so, what was it about Broadcasting Intrusion that stood out?
Firstly, it's a very boring answer. It was the quality of the writing. Tim and Phil were two writers who are obviously born screenwriters. They just have an absolute facility for writing that is evident literally as you turn the page. It's wonderful to see. You see, as a development executive, so many scripts, so many things come across your desk, and you have great ideas, great writing, but when it really clicks, everything just hums, and dialogue and setting and tone and feeling just come off the page. That's such an exciting thing to see, and kind of unexpected when you're running, maybe a script competition for newer writers as well. So that immediately appealed to us. The premise of the film, weirdly, is very close to home. So Queensbury is based in Chicago, where the original Intrusions happened that this film is based on. So it automatically seemed like it was kismet, I guess, in a weird way. So once I found the script and showed it to my kind of colleagues in Chicago, my colleague Greg, who also produced the film, Greg Newman, he remembers this when he was a kid. He remembers the Intrusions, and he was automatically like, okay, we've got to read this, it'd be great. Luckily we read it, and the stars aligned. It seemed to be something that was fated to be done by a Chicago company like Queensbury, luckily everyone agreed. We found a great team. Jacob Gentry, who we reached out to direct the film, he responded to it as well. He's very much like Tim and Phil. He's into these kind of conspiratorial kind of rabbit holes down the internet. He loves that kind of stuff, lives and breathes it. He was the perfect person to do it. Then we sent out to the talent. We got Harry Shum Jr. and Kelly Mack and Chris Sullivan, these great actors who all again really responded to this type of script, which is quite radically different from the standard independent horror genre film. I think it's doing something that's a little bit more kind of 70s conspiracy theory, Alan J. Pakula, those types of films, which is a departure, I think, from a traditional kind of indie horror film we might see at FrightFest, which hopefully kind of makes it stand out and makes it exciting, makes it unique, maybe makes people not realise perhaps where it's going, that kind of stuff, challenges them a bit more.
The film debuted at South by Southwest. It's recently screened at Fantasia. What's the reaction been so far?
Good. I don't want to. I think people are talking about it, which is what is important. I think for us, we want films that people want to talk about, and some people will go a certain way with the film. Some people will, maybe reject a certain way. But I think what that breeds is discussion and conversation. And you want a film. I always say I'd love a film where one set of people think it's absolutely fucking brilliant. The other people think it's just, I'm not quite sure, and they talk about it and they discuss why. No one wants to see a film which is like, it's okay. Who wants to see it? It's okay. That kind of film is just kind of the death knell of kind of creativity. So we're always looking for films which are, a little bit brave, a little bit bold, a little bit audacious, and have something to say. The filmmakers we're working with, we want them to be able to kind of generate that conversation. So at the end of the year, you haven't forgotten about that film that was released in April or May. You're kind of still talking about it. And, festivals have really, really supported us. Obviously, FrightFest, we're going to support this film because, actually, they didn't have to support the film. It would have been kind of embarrassing if we kind of showed it to them and they'd said, maybe not. But look, Alan loved it. He got straight on the phone to me, which he never does, and said, look, we're really proud that this is the first film that's come to us from this scheme. And, that delights us because that's the kind of audience we are making it for. We want people like Paul and Alan to champion this stuff and say, look, do you know what? No matter what you come out thinking, you need to watch this. You need to see what's going on with this type of film because, yeah, people are going to be talking about it, and Fantasia in South by Southwest were the first on the journey. We've got half a dozen more festivals kind of lined up for the next 3 or 4 months, right through to the end of the year. And audiences are embracing it, programmers are championing it, and that's what you want. You can't ask for anything more. It's the film is done, it's given birth to. It's now the audience's film. It's the programmer's film. It's for them to make it go and work out in the world. And they're embracing it as excitedly as we could have hoped for. So yeah, it's great.
And I mean, FrightFest, it's one of those festivals where you sort of, you come once and that's it, you're in for life. Can you remember what your first experience with the festival was?
Well, it was like 21 years ago, so I've literally been to every festival except the first ever one, which is a bit more piecemeal. My first year, I think I saw Jeepers Creepers Battle Royale. It was kind of a cool year. Battle Royale remains one of my favourite films ever. So to see it kind of on the big screen at FrightFest is kind of indicative of what FrightFest has meant to me over the years. I've worked for a distributor for a number of years, and now being a producer. And I've always had films that I've worked on with the festival. I've known Alan and Paul through that, and got to know the guys and got to know their tastes. And to be validated by them is great for a genre producer or a company because they are really the beating heart of it. So I've seen so many great films here. I've lived half my life at FrightFest. It's weird to think that, but yeah, it's kind of informed who I am as an executive, who I am as an emerging producer, and the Queensbury is looking for these guys to keep that lifeblood flowing, and we're always looking to them to be excited about what we're doing. We want them. If we're nothing without them. We can make films, till the cows come home, but we're not patrons of the arts. We're there to serve an audience who want intelligent stuff from us, who want new voices, who want great scripts like Tim and Phil's to kind of be pulled from somewhere, and FrightFest is such a conduit. It's such a conduit for that, and especially in the UK. I work for an American company, Queensbury's based in Chicago, but I'm from the UK, and to have a script which we found British talent, taken it there and made a film which is now travelling all over the world, man, that's so cool. That's so cool, and the next one, we want to do the same thing. That's the thing. The film's now out there, as I say, and our job now is to pull the next one, do the same thing, hopefully find the same great team, and impress an audience again, anew.
I hear that you and Jed Shepherd might be cooking something up.
Jed. Look, Jed's a really good mate, and I've known him for quite a while, and I'm absolutely delighted that him and Rob are just, taking the world by storm. It's brilliant. But again, he's another guy whose roots are in the UK, and he loves the UK, and he loves the UK horror scene, and he's just passionate about it. And he can live two lives. He can go off and do his Blumhouse films, but I think he really wants to foster something here. And he came and mentored with us at New Blood this year, and was an absolute gem. Him, Prano, and Joe Mitchell were just brilliant with this new set of writers who were so energised and so enthused. And I think Jed sparked off a few people. So yeah, look, I don't say watch your space. I think there's anything concrete at the moment, but I'd love to think that Jed would want to try and help us pull some raw talent from the UK and make something that's really gonna get people fired up and excited for sure. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to it and enjoy your festival.
Wonderful. Thanks, Kat. Take care. Thank you.